Second and goal, Armstrong to the air. He's got Westerkamp, and there's the record for Tommy Armstrong. He's now thrown the most touchdown passes in the history of Nebraska football.
What a weekend coming up in Lincoln. For the first time in 30 years, Nebraska and Oregon face off, and it will be played at Memorial Stadium. In advance of that game, we are thrilled to be joined now on Big Ten football and beyond by Nebraska head man Mike Riley. First and foremost, Mike, I know it is a very busy week with such a big game upcoming. We truly appreciate the time this morning.
Thanks, Rick. It's good to be on with you guys. Thank you.
Mike, Tommy sets the all-time passing touchdown record this past weekend. He's thrown one interception. His passer rating is right around 175 this season. That's some 50 points better than his career average. What have you liked the most about Tommy's performance so far this year?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think that he is taking better care of the football as we get started in this season. And Rick, we've had two vastly different games. We had a game where in the first ball game against Fresno, we threw 13 times, and then I think Tommy had 34 attempts the other day. So, you know, we kind of played the games that we were in, and Tommy did a real nice job getting some big plays for us in both ball games.
300 rushing yards in that Week 1 win, over 400 passing yards, Mike, in Week 2. You mentioned it. All coaches love balance, but how do you find that happy medium between the run-pass balance and just taking what the opposing defense gives you?
Yeah, usually, Rick, we talk about balance within the same game is what we like. That would be good. But, you know, we want to be able to run the football. We can run the football with our backs and with Tommy and once in a while with the receiver. But we know we're going to have to throw the ball effectively. With what we do, we'd like to be able to play action pass and get some shots down the field. And then when we're in the red zone or in third down, be effective with our drop back game. And that's our goal. And that's what we've tried to accomplish with Tommy throughout this whole offseason.
Mike, defensively, the Black Shirts have forced 8 turnovers in 2 games. Through all of Big Ten play last year, there were 7 turnovers forced. How and why has that happened?
Well, that has been another big emphasis. Our turnover margin a year ago was at the bottom of the league, and we knew we had to do better defensively against big plays, and we knew we had to do better in the turnover game. And I think part of it is the experience of the players in the back end in particular. They're making more plays. They're getting their vision to the football a little bit better. And when you have your eyes on the ball and can see the ball thrown and you're in good position, then you got a chance to make an interception. So that's been encouraging, and that would be something that we hope that becomes really a part of our identity as we go forward in the year.
Now, Mike, that defense faces an Oregon offense which has gained nearly 1,200 yards in 2 games this season, and they are remarkably balanced. What's the scariest part of that Ducks offense?
I think it's the balance, Rick. I think that this is a team that, you know, I think generally, nationally, people perceive them as a spread offense, passing offense. But this team is really, their foundation, their philosophy has been to be a good running football team from the beginning when Chip Kelly first got to Oregon. And so that's where they start also. They want to run the football, and then all of their play action stuff comes off of it. And then they can spread the field and throw the ball. They got tremendous speed and athleticism. So I think a key factor for us this week will be open field tackling and preventing big plays down the field in the passing game.
Having spent a decade and a half during 2 different stints at Oregon State, you've played 14 Civil War games against Oregon. What's your relationship like with Mark Helfrich, who I know during part of that span was the OC before becoming head coach, and not just Coach Helfrich, but the entire Oregon program?
Yeah, we're pretty close to those guys. We've been around there a long time, and it was interesting because Mark and I both grew up in the state of Oregon. He grew up on the coast, and I grew up in Corvallis. But I've followed his career and known what he's been doing for a long time, and he did a nice job with Chip Kelly, and then when Chip left, taking over as head coach. Mark's a good coach, does a great job in that program, does a great job, I think, directing what they do offensively. And we've had it's a hard-fought rivalry, but it was always good, and we appreciated the work that they did.
And finally, Mike, what's the atmosphere been like so far this week in Lincoln as the fan base, the students, and all the players know how big this game is coming up on Saturday?
I think everybody's fired up. You know, the neat thing about football is when you win games, you know, the next game gets bigger. And, of course, this one, with a nationally ranked team, with a team that's been nationally ranked for a while, it's a really, really good time for our team to play this game. So I know our team's excited about it. And as usual in Lincoln, we'll have a sellout crowd that'll be fired up for this one.
As always, Mike Riley, extremely generous with your time. Mike, truly appreciate it. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Rick.